Hello and welcome to this lab demonstration on configuring Identity Federation to use Microsoft ADFS. At the beginning of this lab, we already need to be familiar with the concept of Identity Federation in VMware vSphere environment. In this lab, we will configure the vCenter Server Identity Provider Federation. After that, we are going to add permissions to a vCenter server for an AD account. And finally, we are going to log in to a vCenter server using an AD account. I'm sure I provided you enough good reasons to watch the following video on configuring Identity Federation to use Microsoft ADFS. So let's get started. At first, we need to go to our menu section and then we need to go to a configuration part of it. Let's go to a menu. Let's find a section which is called Administration. Now let's go to a configuration section on the left side of our navigation pane. Here we can see the Identity Provider tab displayed to us. Here we can verify the identity provider information for our particular vCenter server. We can click on this information icon. And here we can see two redirect URIs which are currently used by this particular identity provider of this particular VCSA. So we can copy those URIs. Let's copy them to our little text file. So now we can continue by adding a different identity provider information. So let's click on Change Identity Provider. Now let's choose a Microsoft ADFS as our new identity provider for this particular lab purposes. Let's click on Next. And now we need to provide this wizard with our additional information of this particular Active Directory Federation Services server. For doing that, we can actually go to our desktop and find the file which is called ADFS settings.txt. Here we can find all the information we need to provide to our wizard to be able to add our Active Directory Federation server as the ADFS identity provider to our vCenter. So we need to find the client identifier, the shared secret, and an OpenID address. Let's copy them from that file. Be careful not to copy any additional spaces here. Let's paste the client identifier. Now let's take a shared secret for a secret connection, for a safe connection. Copy. Let's paste it here. Now we need an OpenID address here. Let's copy it and paste it here. Now let's click on Next. Now we need to provide this wizard with the additional information about users and groups. Again, we can go to our text file and take those identifiers from here. Our base distinguished name for users will be CN users DC vClass DC local. Let's copy it and paste here. Again, be careful with those spaces. Base distinguished name for groups will be DC vClass DC local. Let's copy it and paste it here. Next, our username will be administrator at vclass.local. Let's copy it here. Our password will be VMware1 exclamation mark. Let's copy it right here. Now, let's copy our primary server URI. Let's copy it here. We're not going to use a secondary server URI. And now we need to browse this wizard to an SSL certificate for this particular connection. So let's go to browse and let's take a ca root.cir security certificate right here. Let's open it and let's click on next. Let's review the information which we have provided during this wizard. We can compare this information again with our prepared text file. Let's click on finish. And now we are ready to try to use this particular identity provider. We can see that the information of the identity provider is no longer provided us with those two particular links which we have copied during our task number 1. So now what we can do to verify that the identity federation was added successfully, we can go to, before we are going to check this, we need to assign some permissions for accounts which are going to log in using this identity federation. So now we need to go to a menu, hosts and clusters. We need to choose our SA VCSA01 vClass local. Then we need to go to a permissions tab, the 4th tab of this particular vCenter server. Now we need to click on a plus sign for us to be able to add some new permissions. We need to choose a domain to which we are going to add some permissions. We need to choose the Microsoft ADFS domain. Our user/group will be administrator. Next, we're going to choose the role as the default option, the administrator, and let's check this checkbox, propagate to children. So let's choose the administrator here. Just a second. Let's choose the administrator here. Let's click on OK. Now we can see that the Microsoft ADFS /administrator has the assigned role of an administrator, and this role is defined also to this particular object and its children. Now we are ready to verify the correctness of this particular configuration. For doing that, we need to log out from our vCenter server. And now, just a second. And now we are going to log in, but with a different administrator account. Let's type an administrator at vclass.local. Let's type it administrator at vclass.local. Now we need to type a password, which is VMware1 ! And here we are. Now we are authenticated. We are the administrator at vclass.local, and now we actually can operate with our SA VCSA01 vClass local using our Microsoft Active Directory account here. So our lab is completed. Congratulations, you have completed the Configuring Identity Federation to use Microsoft ADFS lab demonstration video. During this lab, we have seen how and where we can configure the vCenter server identity provider federation, how we can add permissions to a vCenter server for an AD account, and finally, we have seen that we can successfully log in to a vCenter server using an AD account. Thank you for watching this lab demonstration video. I hope the knowledge acquired here will help you with your daily job assignments, and good luck as you continue your journey in VMware world.